People are dying, Alfred. What would you have me do? Endure, Master Wayne. They may hate you for it, but that's the point of the Batman. You take things that no one else can. One thing I found out today, Batman can't do this. You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. Some men just want to watch the world burn. What is going on, everybody? The Dark Knight is one of my favorite films of all time. This is, in my opinion, the greatest superhero film of all time. I love The Dark Knight. I love this movie with a passion. There is a reason why I love this movie, and I will say why in a second. But this movie came out in 2008, and at the time, this was a very interesting thing because obviously there was a lot of people who were kind of surprised and very interested in this movie because this was one of the first films that hit $1 billion worldwide, like ever. It's one of the first. This movie is one of the best films ever made, and people talk about what's the greatest superhero film of all time. In my opinion, it's The Dark Knight. To me, this is not a superhero film. To me, this is a crime drama. But it takes things different levels, and it's such a fantastic film. Let's talk about some stuff, because obviously this is a movie people need to see. There's certain films where you think that is where films should be today. I'm not the biggest superhero movie fan. A lot of superhero movies today are really tacked on. I'm going to say that because obviously Marvel, I enjoy all the Marvel films mostly, but they all feel like they're the same thing. DC has been doing okay. I will say I love Watchmen. I hated Green Lantern. But there's something about The Dark Knight that made this movie unique. The Dark Knight is such a fantastic film. And it's a 2.5 hour movie that never feels like it's 2.5 hours. I will say this. You cannot review The Dark Knight and not mention one of the top 5 greatest performances of all time by Heath Ledger, who plays the Joker in this movie. Heath Ledger gives easily one of the greatest performances of all time next to Robert De Niro from Raging Bull, Daniel Day-Lewis in There Will Be Blood. He is in that conversation. And rest in peace, Heath Ledger, because you obviously brought the best performance of your career in this movie. He was absolutely fantastic in this film. Heath Ledger brought something unique to this movie, and he brought such a crazy person in this movie. He brought such a like, you can always say there's something about him. I mean, Jack Nicholson will always be such a great Joker, but no one could really have done what this movie did and what this movie was. To a lot of people, this is kind of the Return of the King of superhero movies. Unfortunately, a lot of people were pissed because The Dark Knight didn't make Best Picture nomination. The Dark Knight did not become Best Picture nominated, and that is what made us to going into the 10 nominees now that we have today, was because The Dark Knight. This movie has such a fantastic script. It has such a fantastic direction, such a fantastic performances, and the score this is easily the best superhero score done in a movie. Hans Zimmer brought this dark-like something in this film. Christian Bale is great as Batman. People do complain about the voice. I understand about the voice. Aaron Eckhart, fantastic as Two-Face. However, I do think Maggie Gyllenhaal was a lot better than Katie Holmes. I liked her a lot more than Katie Holmes in this movie. This movie brings such a great finale as well. And I love this movie so much. It's easily a 5 out of 5. If you have never seen The Dark Knight, check it out. It's one of the best films ever made. It's one of my favorite movies. And it's definitely the greatest superhero film in my opinion. Alright guys, this upcoming Wednesday, look out for my review of The Dark Knight Rises. And then on Friday, look out for a special video on why I love Batman v Superman. And thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next video.